I agree with everybody. Okay, but as you fly the Hamas flag, then I'm livid, and I agree with everybody. Okay, but as now the Palestinians are getting crushed, and you could largely blame Hamas for that. If you anybody can blame anyone they like, okay? But the Palestinians are getting crushed right now, okay? So you want to have sympathy for the Palestinians? You put up the Palestinian flag today. I get it, right? And those are people. Those are people.
Yes.
So, but I'm actually less mad at the two, the Israeli ambassador and the Republican than when I first saw the headlines, because I thought the Israeli ambassador was saying that it's a disgrace that she put up the Palestinian flag. Like, well, that's unacceptable to say that,
Yeah.
but he didn't. As you see the full context there, he could have been referring to disgrace as to the comments about Hamas and comments about apartheid, etc. And of course, he's the Israeli ambassador. He gets to say that today, right?
Yeah.
And for Max Miller,
salute to
at first I thought he was just going to try to ban the Palestinian flag, and that's just absurd and silly. But his resolution, to be fair, says all. That's just absurd and silly.
And
but his resolution, to be fair, says all non-American flags and non-state flags. And that's just absurd and silly. But his resolution, to be fair, says all non. That's just absurd and silly. Full context there, he could have been referring to disgrace as to the comments about Hamas and comments about apartheid, etc. And of course, he's the Israeli ambassador. He gets to say that today, right? And for Max Miller, at first I thought he was just going to try to ban the Palestinian flag, and that's just absurd and silly. But his resolution, to be fair, says all non-American flags and non-state
that's
flags.
Fair.
And
the ban of all flags. And
that's
look, fair. That's
everybody
consistent.
to each his own.
So that should not be reviled. That should not be execrated. The ban of all flags,
and that I can
not just the Palestinian.
And look,
but the pride flag, the BLM flag, whatever it is.
If I was in Congress, I'm Turkish American.
These woke flags.
State flags. And that
anti-woke flags too.
And look, everybody to each his own, and everybody does different things. If I was in Congress, I'm Turkish American.
The ban of all flags, not just woke flags.
If I was in Congress, I'm Turkish American.
Palestine is not a woke flag.
It's not because I'm not proud to
I am
be
not saying
Turkish.
Palestine. I am not saying Palestine is a woke flag, but the BLM, the pride.
I was in Congress. I'm
the BLM flag is woke. The pride flag is woke.
It's not because I'm not proud. I was in Congress. I'm Turkish American.
But Palestine is not American.
It's not because
the Palestinian flag is not American, and that person, that dude, the Republican dude, he only wants American flags to be in there because we live in America. We don't live in Palestine. She doesn't live in Palestine. Rashida Tlaib, the Palestinian Democrat, the Democratic who is Palestinian American.
State flags, and that I could live with. And look, everybody to each his own. And for Max Miller, at first I thought he was just going to try to.
Yeah, he's not hateful for banning all flags.
But his resolution, to be fair, says all non-American flags and non-state flags. And that I could live with.
Yeah.
And look, everybody to each his own, and everybody does different things.
Logical.
If I was in Congress, I'm Turkish American. I'd never put up the Turkish flag. It's not because I'm not proud to be ethnically Turkish, okay? But I'm an American. And I'm in an American house.
Yeah.
And so I just don't see it there.
A respect thing.
But that's just up to them. So I don't think there's anything wrong with the Palestinian flag at all.
Yeah,
but the rest of it is problematic.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, what Max Miller
Hamas
is doing
is devilish.
Is basically
not the
theater,
Palestinian
because
people.
his amendment notes, it stipulates that no government funding can go toward any of these flags. I don't think the government paid for Rashida Tlaib's Palestinian flag.
Yeah.
So again,
I am not sure
to
either.
me, it appears to be, some chest puffing and all of that. But I want everyone to know the difference between the Palestinian flag.
Yes,
because
clear
to
difference.
me, the most important thing is protecting civilians, right? When it comes to this conflict, What breaks my heart is watching civilians, whether it's on the Israeli side or the
Or the
Palestinian
Palestinian.
side, getting crushed and murdered as a result of what's going on.
Gratuitously.
Hamas's flags look like this. So let's go to graphic
That's
5.
different from the
so one of them
Palestinian
has that seal.
Palestinian flag.
The other has
The people that
some writing with the green
cannot
flag.
understand.
The Palestinian flag, the flag of the Palestinian people,
Different.
looks like
That's
this, and
different.
that is what was flying, or what that is what
That's
Rashid
not the
Tlaib
same as the
had
Hamas.
hanging right outside
That's
her
not
congressional
that.
office.
It's not the same.
And look, whenever
That's the Hamas
these
flag.
terrible conflicts and wars happen, emotions run high. I totally get that.
Yeah.
But you have to differentiate between the bad guys and ordinary people, ordinary civilians.
Innocent people.
Right? So for instance, let's think about it in a different context. I hate what the Russian government is doing with their brutal and disgusting war and invasion in Ukraine. I do not hate the Russian people. I don't think Russian civilians should suffer as a result of that.
Facts.
So we have to be able to make those distinctions.
Yes.
We need to care about humanity,
yes.
human lives, and again, civilians, protecting them and sticking up for them.
Yep.
When, especially when emotions run wild.
Yeah.
Logicality, man. Logic.
I hate what the American government did in Iraq. I don't hate Americans. And in terms of the civilians, Hamas is, yes, now I see all over, everywhere, online, everywhere else, saying, well, the Palestinians voted for Hamas.
That doesn't justify
that's a terrible road.
Mass murder. That doesn't excuse.
So under that logic, you say, well, then the Israeli civilians, it's a do not do that. Do not do that. That's terrible. By the way, that goes a billion times more for Hamas. You claim that your problem was with the Israeli government, then you murdered innocent Israeli civilians. So then,
it makes
how do
zero
you say,
sense.
oh, don't murder innocent Palestinian civilians? Well, you just did it. You just did it to them. So now you've lost all moral high ground.
Hypocrisy, contradiction.
We're not, for all of us, the decent people that get caught
that the
in the
Hamas
middle
embodies,
of these extremists
the Hamas
all the
group
time.
embodies.
For us, it's gotta matter that it's civilians or a terrorist group or a government doing something wrong, whether it's the American government, Israeli government, or a terrorist group like Hamas doing something wrong. We cannot then lay that blame on all Palestinians or all Israelis or all Muslims or all Jews or
it's
all
not
Americans
judicious
or
to lump
all Russians.
all
We cannot
people.
do that because we have the only way to out of this mess eventually is for all of us to realize we're all human beings. We're all nearly
Let's
identical.
live concordantly, accordantly, harmoniously
so
with each
incredibly
other.
similar. We're the same species.
Homo
Stop
sapien.
killing each other and stop
Let's
listening
live peacefully.
to people who tell you to kill each other. And the minute
They're
they
not
tell you to
honest.
kill
The
someone
people
innocent
that
is the minute
support
you should walk
terrorism.
out. It's not complicated.
Extricate yourself from the cage. From the cage. Yeah. Based. It's not difficult to despise mass murder of innocent people on both sides. I said this so many times, bro. Yeah, what Cenk said was based. What Anna said was logical too, man. Straight up and down, man. Bruh. Logic has to override emotion. It does. If logic does not override emotion, then bad outcomes will happen, man. That's straight up and down facts.
Take your love of the game to the
I've been
next
preached
level. Enter
and
for a chance to win a
preached.
trip to
Gave
see
their
your
candid
favorite
thoughts
pro
on the
football team play.
war too, man. Let's watch.
I don't advocate on the hot team that you want to use these jokes as a shield, but the truth is you're just a f***ing coward. And I want to let you know something. You know what? Silence is violence. Silence is violence. Go ahead and keep quiet and watch how I bleed. With everything happening in Palestine and Israel, right? There's been a lot of different takes, right? Some people are being pro-Hamas. Some people are being pro-Israel. Some people are being pro-Palestine. They don't want innocent people. A lot of people just don't want innocent people to suffer, okay? And there's a lot to talk about. Right? Geopolitically, it's a very complex issue.
Yeah.
Here in Montreal, all right, our city.
Shout out to Montreal. I went to Montreal.
She had a Palestinian flag
13
on her
years
car,
ago.
and as she came out to her vehicle, somebody was
Fire City.
double parked right beside her. Okay. Now, the lady who's getting into her car, the one with the Palestinian flag.
I meant to say
oh,
fire experience. I had a good experience in Montreal. That's what I meant to say. I was on a French trip. I took French at the time. I was in 8th grade. I took French at the time.
She's like, no, I'd like to talk in this video ensued.
Post it. Author Lauren.
And as she came out to her vehicle, somebody was double parked right beside her. You will suffer, okay? And there's a lot to talk about. All right? Geopolitically, it's a very complex issue. Here in Montreal, all right, our city, there was an incident involving a woman. She had a Palestinian flag on her car. And as she came out...
Shout out to Montreal, man. One
Montreal,
love.
All right, our city,
shout out to Abba. Shout out to Preach.
Involving a woman. She had a Palestinian flag on her car. And as she came out... Here in Montreal, all right, our city, there was an incident involving a woman. She had a Palestinian flag on her car. And as she came out to her vehicle, somebody was double parked right beside her. Okay. Now, the lady who's getting into her car, the one with the Palestinian flag, looks at the other. He's like, oh, do you want my parking spot? She's like, no, I'd like to talk in this video ensued.
Post it. Author Lauren Wise. That's my Instagram. Author Lauren Wise. You should be raped and dragged through the streets in front of your kids.
Wow. Yo, what did I just hear, bro? What? Yeah, she's bugging, bro. That's crazy. That is indubitably crazy.
No words before this that were really shared. Okay.
Thank you.
That
Thank
is
you for your name.
undoubtedly
Thank you. Have a nice day.
wild.
You should fucking all of you.
Yeah,
idiots think that it's
that's not laudable. That's not condonable. That's not
So she just said this crazy lady.
honorable.
She just comes out of nowhere. She starts attacking me. That's what the lady said in French.
I'm not attacking you.
Elle est en train de m'attaquer. Ok, problème, ma chérie. Viens. Ok, c'est good. Ok, thank you.
All of your friends are stupid.
Okay.
You don't understand what's
Okay, c'est bon.
Do you have any she posts on Instagram?
Well,
Toxicity, bro.
What about her Twitter? Yeah, that's locked too. Okay, so she deactivated her social. She put her name in the video.
Yeah.
Post it. Author Lauren Wise. That's my Instagram.
And then once the backlash came, she's like,
Lauren
oh, wait,
Wise. That's not a befitting name. That's not an apropos name. She was not being wise in that clip. She was bugging in that clip.
Her Instagram is locked.
What about her Twitter? Yeah, that's locked too. Okay, so
she is not wise.
She put her name in the video.
Yeah.
Post it. Author Lauren Wise. That's my Instagram.
And then once the backlash came, she's like, oh wait, maybe I shouldn't have.
Maybe that's not a good idea.
Injudicious,
I
bro.
watch this then.
Bruh.
Author Lauren Wise.
I'm not so proud now.
So supposedly this lady,
Idiotic.
afterwards, the one who called the Palestinian flag, she got out. She's like, you want to talk? Why don't we just talk? Get out of the car. We can have a conversation. And the lady freaked out. And apparently she went in reverse and then slammed on the gas pedal, removing her car door, and drove out. Yeah.
Lauren Wise.
Yeah. Yup. She crazy, right?
Run this joint back a little bit.
Yeah, that's locked too. Okay, so she deactivated her social. Do you have any she posts on Instagram?
Well, her Instagram is locked.
What about her Twitter? Yeah, that's locked too. Oh, she just said this crazy lady. She just comes out of nowhere. She starts attacking me. That's what the lady said in French.
I'm not attacking you.
Elle est en train de m'attaquer. Ok, problème, ma chérie. Viens. Ok, c'est good. Ok, thank you.
All of your friends are
Nasty, acrimonious, hostile,
Okay, c'est bon.
not friendly,
She posts on Instagram?
aggressive.
Well, her Instagram is locked.
The animus, bruh. It
It's
is
locked too. Okay, so she deactivated her social. She put her name in the video.
indubitably odious. Indudablemente.
That's my Instagram.
Indudablemente.
And then when the backlash came, she's like, oh, wait,
Indudablemente.
maybe I shouldn't have.
Maybe that's not a good idea.
Yeah, she
I
was
said it on my
bugging.
chest then.
Author Lauren Wise.
Yep, she was
I'm
tough.
not so proud now.
Then
So
she
supposedly this lady afterwards
was on that cowardly time later.
Flag, she got out. She's like, you want to talk?
Crazy.
Why don't we just talk? Get out of the car. We can
She's
have
a
conversation.
coward, bro.
And the lady freaked out. And apparently she went in reverse.
Lauren
and
lies.
slammed
That should be
on the
her
gas pedal, removing her car
her name
door
because she
and
lies.
drove out. Yeah.
Lauren Wise.
Yup. She crazy, right?
That's crazy.
Why are we bringing this up? Because the response to this conflict, which is incredibly polarizing, has people drawn in such extreme camps.
Radical.
That if you don't talk,
Intolerant.
you're condoning violence.
Bigoted.
If you speak for the wrong side, you're condoning violence.
Quote unquote.
It doesn't matter what you say. a large contingent of people are
And
gonna
certain people denigrate you for not choosing a side. It is crazy, bro. If you are neutral, if you don't support the murder of Palestinians or the Palestinians or the murder of Israelis, they you receive excoriation, vituperation, castigation. Certain people tell you that you are a devil because you are neutral, you are impartial, logical, unbiased. Yeah, Gareth Ike spoke out against the cornballs on both sides, bro. On both sides. Another person on X, Alec, I think his name is Alec, I think. He spoke out against the BS that certain people embody on both sides too. Yeah, bro. It is crazy, bro. You cannot be neutral. You cannot be impartial, unbiased.
If you don't talk,
you are a demon.
Violence.
That's crazy.
If you speak for the wrong side, you're condoning violence.
Crazy.
It doesn't matter what you say. A large contingent of people are going to call you a piece of shit and one of the worst human
regardless,
beings alive.
You cannot please the mob.
The death of
you cannot win for lose.
You know what I mean? Like this issue, even more so than Ukraine, Russia.
Do not bow down to the mob. The people that are impartial, man. Do not bow down, bro. It's people that care more about the truth than they do about feelings, than they do about wokeism. They are to be revered, extolled, venerated, saluted.
For essentially liking
the impartial people. Everybody should salute the impartial people, but they salute the radical people, the extreme people, the people that only support innocent people from one side.
You know what I mean? Like this issue, even more so than Ukraine, Russia, anything I've ever seen. Human beings alive for essentially liking the death of babies. Human beings alive for essentially liking
her.
Yeah.
Born wise.
Yeah. Yup. Shit crazy, right?
That's crazy.
Why are we bringing this up? Because the response to this conflict, which is incredibly polarizing, has people drawn in such extreme camps that if you don't talk, you're condoning violence.
Pro-Palestine doesn't mean that doesn't automatically mean that you are anti-Israel. Pro-Palestine does not mean pro-Hamas. So people that are pro-Palestine, not all pro-Palestine people should be execrated. You should not wish death or harm on pro-Palestine people that are not abusive or devilish or evil. Not all pro-Israeli people are anti-Palestine. Just because you are pro-Israel, that doesn't mean that you are that doesn't mean that you are anti-Palestine or pro-Hamas or pro the murder of innocent Palestinian people. People got to think logically, bro. Salute to the logical people on the pro-Palestine side, the pro-Israel side, and the people outside of the two teams.
Which is incredibly
the logical people, period. Salute to all to the logical people, period. Of all communities, all groups.
If you speak for the wrong side, you're condoning violence. It doesn't matter.
I am logical.
A large contingent
unbiased.
of people are going to call you a piece of shit and one of the worst human beings alive for essentially liking the death of babies or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, this issue, even more so than Ukraine, Russia, anything I've ever seen before, is the issue that polarizes people the most.
Yeah, and it's been going on.
Yeah, remember the pandemic? We had that. There were some flare-ups and people were like, why you guys haven't spoken about it? Why is it like that? I'm not that educated on it. Like, one of the things that is most fascinating to me about this is people who have zero geopolitical knowledge. They don't even understand the history. They don't even understand when Israel was founded. They don't understand how the Palestinians ended up where they were. They don't understand none of the... They can't even point it to you on the map but they're so certain about which side is right and which side is wrong and how black and white it is.
It's
and they'll
wild.
shout you down from the high heavens.
Indubitably
You're
crazy.
garbage. And that's the part that fascinates
The
me.
sanctimoniousness.
I see some people be like, oh,
Sanctimonious.
or whatever. It's like, what?
Crazy. The sanctimoniousness of certain people is crazy, bro. The sanctimoniousness of certain people is really crazy.
And they'll shout you down from the high heavens to be like, you're garbage. And that's the part that fascinates me the most. I see some people be like, oh, Hamas is based or whatever. It's like,
That's crazy, bro. Hamas is based? That's crazy. That's a wild statement. Undoubtedly. Indisputably wild. Unquestionably wild. The people that rejoice in the mass slaughter of Israelis are to be criticized, demonized. They deserve the demonization. The people that rejoice in the mass slaughter of innocent Israeli people. The people that rejoice in the mass slaughter of innocent Palestinian people should be demonized as well.
Based about grabbing civilians and then murdering great.
That's not based. That's not honorable.
Like Israel has the right to do whatever it wants. Like, what's great about bombing places indiscriminately and then
that is abominable.
Taking away settlements and then like having the way they've been encroaching on Palestinian land and just stealing places. Like nobody can say to me that Israel's been wanting peace for all this time. Like I think this is what I say about the conflict. This is my 2 cents. I think there's a giant difference between the governing bodies and the people itself. I think most the majority of people.
A clear difference.
The citizens and most of the people in Palestine support a two-state solution. The government seems to have a different idea in mind, and that seems to be pretty consistent. I think at every turn, the Israeli government has made efforts to encroach on Palestinian land and steal more settlements, which a lot of the people in Israel have been protesting against. And for the Palestinians, like they would support being able to live alongside for many of them.
Accordingly.
Concordantly. So,
yes.
Unfortunately, a man named Bibi kind of holds the reins to this whole thing, is deciding how this thing's going to go forward. And at the end of the day, it's mostly going to be innocent people who have nothing to do with this conflict who are not involved who are going to suffer. So I think you can do multiple things. I think you can condemn what Hamas did in terms of the attack and also understand the frustrations of Palestinian people being in what is an open-air prison for the last 67 years. Our Discord is up. A lot of political... Murk these people. Anything under the sun. So check the link in the description below for that. I just think it's kind of cringe when people are just like, murk these people. And I'll also say, as a Canadian, it was really cringe watching Parliament fly the Israeli flags. That was really, that was gross. Okay.
Right after the...
Yeah, every time something happened in Palestine, I see these motherfuckers fly no flags for the Palestinian people. Something happens in Israel, all of a sudden they want to, throw up all these... I'm like, that's cringe.
That's what politics is, basically. But whatever.
Yeah.
I digress.
Why don't you speak out on this topic?
Because, one, I'm not well educated on it. Two, I think both sides are wrong. Why would I? I'm going to talk about some shit I don't know. Let me talk about some shit I know.
Yeah.
You know what I know? I know how to make people laugh. I know how to...
You never made me laugh a single time. Can you really... Call yourself a comedian?
Yeah, because I'm not talking to you.
Okay, let's go, clown. Let's go, make us laugh.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's what I thought. The reason why you have the thing on the Palestinian thing, you want to use these jokes as a shield, but the truth is you're just a fucking coward, and I want to let you know something. You know what? Silence is violence. Silence is violence. Go ahead and keep quiet and watch how I bleed.
This is
that's why you guys
every day on social media. That's you. That's you guys. Oh, you're not gonna put that dirty ass thing on my face. Don't trust me like that, man. Stay the ground. No, I'm not.
Why you should stop talking?
Why?
So you can let more Palestinian babies die.
That's you guys. That's you guys every day. No, I ain't saying stuff. Yeah, it's not my place to say stuff. I'm not every. Out of all the people that can say stuff and that are actually that have the knowledge and say stuff, go watch them. Go watch them. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's pretty much what I got to say about that.
The dose of the bitter activist.
The ghost of the bitter activist.
Now you know that you are complicit in the death of all these babies.
Sure. Well, Osama is watching.
I understand the frustrations of a lot of people who are pro-Palestine and feel like when shit happens in Palestine, there doesn't seem to be as much of a support.
They're
you
right.
know, when they're being evacuated from their homes, their homes are being burned down,
They're right.
and then they're having these raids. Like, that frustration is real. The fact that it feels like on the international stage, it feels like a lot of government bodies will turn a blind eye to a lot of the stuff Israel does. And then I also understand the Israeli sentiments where they're just like, you know, they're living up there in Tel Aviv and they're getting rockets sent to them, or you know, bombings and all that stuff. Like,
Crazy.
it's understandable. I can't for the life of me look at a lot of people who want to look at this issue and be like, wow, I'm 100% right. The other side's got to disappear. It's like, that's crazy to me. And
Why?
everybody's asking me about the editors contest.
Why?
It's still going on. Editor can be on top too, but also. Be smart about your clip selection. Be good about your editing. You know, if you want to add in pizzazz to make the clip more interesting, do that. And like I said, we're not limiting the amount of entries you can make from a single channel that you create for this contest. So do as much. Use the hashtag and preach video contest. Someone said this too, but they're like, yeah, they're doing this for their own safety. You know, they can't allow us. Like, you have to imagine most of the people who are in Palestine right now are like are kids.
Yeah.
50% of them are kids.
90% of them were not even around when the first initial war happened with Israel, and they're still living in this prison.
Facts.
So you have think about how crazy that is. That generation to generation, all of you are living in perpetual prison-like state. Okay, you're born, you've done nothing, you're imprisoned in this area because of something your great grandfather or whatever. It's like
or predecessors.
That's weird.
Predecessors.
It's almost like paying reparations for some of your great grandparents did. And like a lot of people in America would never be okay with that. Or they expect a lot of the Palestinian people to have to accept that kind of situation.
A lot of people in America are not for that.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
I don't support reparations for people that don't deserve.
Nothing to you.
Yeah.
So,
it's just
For people that are not true descendants
don't have an opinion
of slaves
I don't think you should feel bad.
in
I don't
America.
think it's your job to be educated on this. If you don't want to, if you don't feel some type of way, if you're someone like, listen, let's be honest. I think a lot of you are watching this right now. You're like,
Certain blacks think they're entitled to reparations, but not all blacks are true descendants of slaves. If you are not a true descendant of a slave, you should not get reparations. That's what I think, candidly.
I can understand a lot of people's sentiment like that. And for other people, they're like, I have to care, because if I don't, who's going to help these people? And I think
it's crazy that certain people make it seem like America is the worst. When you are able to ascend, progress, elevate, you are not held back because of your color, your race. Not every black person should get reparations, bro.
Try Dove Med 0% aluminum. It's made with a plant-based moisturizer, and it's free from parabens, dyes.
Let me rewind, because I was talking over it. I'm going to rewind it back a little bit. Hold on.
90% of them were not even around when the first initial war happened with Israel, and they're still living in this prison. Yeah. So you have think about how crazy that is. That generation to generation.
Like Aaliyah, the conservative said, the former BLM activist said, it's not possible for every black person in America to get reparations.
Or whatever. It's like
America is in trillions
it's almost
of
like
dollars
reparations for
in debt.
Some of your great grandparents did, and like a lot of people in America would never be okay
not all
with
white
that.
people are slave owners.
That kind of situation.
Not all white people enslaved people. The white people that were not around during slavery, bro, should not feel guilty for what certain white people did in the past, bro. No white person that is moral, that is truly honorable, should feel guilty, bro. No white person that never enslaved my black people should feel guilty for a transgression they never committed. He or she never committed.
Grandfather or whatever.
Why should white people feel guilty for things they did not even do? It doesn't make sense.
Some of your great
The woke black people, they make me sick, man.
Would never be okay with that. When they expect a lot of the Palestinian people to have to accept that kind of situation.
A lot of people in America are not for that.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm
They
saying.
don't want to pay.
They would never want to pay reparations.
They don't want to pay reparations. Nothing to you.
Yeah.
So,
It's just.
and I understand.
Yeah, people don't have an opinion. I don't think you should feel bad. I don't think it's your job to be educated on this. If you don't want to, if you don't feel some type of way, if you're someone, like, listen, let's be honest. I think a lot of you are watching this right now. You're like, oh, I'm exhausted of the depressing feeling I get when I see international news. I'm exhausted of the depressing feeling I get when I look at this issue that seems like it's never going to be resolved because they haven't made progress over the last 20 years, and they've only deteriorated. I don't want to think about that because it's a lot of suffering and it fucks my mental. I can understand a lot of people's sentiment like that. And for other people, they're like, I have to care because if I don't, who's going to help these people? And I think all those opinions are valid. But
Yeah.
I don't understand people who want to impose their view on everyone.
This joint just, hold on, what just happened? Hold up, let me hold on. Try to just hold up. Hold on.
Don't have an opinion. I don't think you should feel bad. I don't think it's your job to be educated on this. If you don't want to, if you don't feel some type of way, if you're someone, like, listen, let's be honest. I think a lot of you are watching this right now. You're like, oh, I'm exhausted of the depressing feeling I get when I see international news. I'm exhausted of the depressing feeling I get when I look at this issue that seems like it's never going to be resolved because they haven't made progress over the last 20 years, and they've only deteriorated. I don't want to think about that because it's a lot of suffering and it fucks my mental. I can understand a lot of people's sentiment like that.
The
And
war.
for other people, they're like, I have to care because if I don't, who's going to help these people? And I think all those opinions are valid. But
Yep.
I don't understand people who want to impose their view on everyone else to end what they care about this issue. To me, that just seems counterproductive.
Yeah, detrimental, deleterious.
You should say, sounds nice.
Shout out to I've Been Preach. Shout out to, yeah, bro. Yeah, Lauren Wise, she's a cornball, bro. I hope she sincerely apologizes to the lady that she said nasty things to, truly nasty things, truly acrimonious things, truly toxic, abusive. Yeah, she said that the lady should be, that had the Palestinian flag should be raped. That's crazy, bro. That's not condonable. She's not a laudable person. People like her, they have to be logical, not emotional. Over emotionality is not good, bro. It leads to bad outcomes, man. Certain people have to stop being over emotional, bro. Logic should override emotionality, bro. Facts.